All right, so what was each legion's relationship with their Primarch like? Obviously, everybody who's ever worked with Vulcan, um, pure, nice, amazing relationship. I just know off the bat.
G'day guys and gal. You might be looking at this video title and thinking, huh, I know this one. They all love their daddy Primarchs. And sure, for the simpletons of you out there, that would be accurate enough for most cases. However, if we peel back the layers, the complexity of how each Space Marine views their own Primarch becomes apparent. Some Primarchs see their Space Marines as little brothers instead of sons. Some Space Marines see their Primarchs as respected leaders instead of fathers. Others want to get on their knees and use your imagination for that one. Some legions actually despise their Primarch.
I know that.
It's not a one-size-fits-all or sunshine and rainbows, and that is something worth discussing. Before we get started, I am a huge advocate of hygiene and taking care of yourself.
Me too.
Partly due to my rampant ego, but mostly for wholesome self-love reasons. So I've once again partnered with Geology for this video to bring skincare, body washes, hair washes, and deodorants
and this is no troll aside, but if I was on like any other faction but the Silent Madness, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I would most likely hate my Primarch, bro. Not because like they're not not as cool as Vulcan or whatever. It's just, man, if I'm just being completely honest with you, just keeping it real, bro. Like most of them are just lame, to be honest with you. I mean, bro, if you're not Vulcan, then like, bro, why would I like sit here and like, listen to what you're saying, bro? Like, cool, like you're bigger than me, like, bro, whoop did he do? Like, bro, what you want a cookie or something? I mean, that's why you're probably bigger than you. Like, you need to lay off the cookies or not. But, bro, I'll probably like, man, I'll probably get like public rescuation. I couldn't say public rescuation because I get demonetized. But if I'm being honest with you, bro, like my ego would just get in the way. I only listen to Vulcan himself.
Majorkill 70, you'll get a massive 70% off your first skincare package, as well as 50% off an additional product. That could be the co-wash, the deodorant, or anything. You'd seriously be screwing yourself to not at least give it a try. Cheers to Geology for sponsoring this video.
Oh, that's nice.
Today we'll go over each of the Legion's relationship with their Primarch to determine what was actually going on off the battlefield. The relationship will be a general vibe as opposed to what, one or two named characters thought. I obviously won't include the opinion of the loyalist elements that were murdered by the traitor Primarchs, as obviously it would be pretty fucking negative. Let's get into it.
Here we go. Let's go.
Kicking us off with the Dark Angels and the Lion. After all, nothing gets me harder than a bit of chronological ordering. The Lion's Primarch aura was much more intense than that of his brothers. Not only his own Dark Angels, but also other Legion Space Marines were awed by his presence and struggled to look him in the eyes. In saying that though, the Lion didn't want to be this godlike being that his Space Marines jerked off to. He referred to them as little brothers instead of sons.
Oh, that's nice.
Like their respected commander rather than their daddy. They wanted to revere him, but he just wanted respect and for his orders to be obeyed without delay, as evident by him punching off his chaplain's head when his chaplain refused his orders. You could argue that he wasn't actually that respected by his...
I mean, here's the thing, though. Whenever it comes to, like, respectable people like the Lion and stuff like that, I'm going to be honest with you. Like, if I was a Primarch or whatever, I think I would much rather be, like, the older brother than, like, the person that just wants everybody to just like glaze me and stuff like that. If I'm just being honest with you, I'd rather be like the older brother. Like, I'll take a little trash talk here and there or whatever, but at the same time, like, bro, I'm way more powerful than you, whatever. Like, literally like the older brother. Like, I'm way more powerful than you, whatever. Like, you can do whatever you want, but at the end of the day, like, I can easily just one or two tap you. So at the end of the day, you might as well just listen to me anyway. We're gonna have like banter or whatever, but at the end of the day, like, I don't want you to glaze me off. I still want there to be like like banter or like a little conflict or whatever. But at the same time, like, I think if I was like Prime or whatever, I think I would definitely try to be like the older brother instead of like the Primarch that wants everybody to like glaze me and stuff like that. Just me being, I'm just being honest.
As evident by Caliban and Luther's fallen Dark Angels turning on him. However, most of those Marines never actually met the Lion, and Caliban had spent decades having its resentment exploited by Chaos. Even then, most Fallen have been eager to flock to the Lion's banner since the Lion's return. The second Primarch's relationship with these Astartes can be summed up in one sentence. I have no fucking clue. Fulgrim didn't have the restraint and humility of the Lion. Pre-heresy, his sons adored him as an icon. They would get giddy with excitement in his presence, and even receiving his attention for a mere moment would make their day. It was their obsession to please daddy.
So he was like a celebrity, and they were like the fans type thing. It was like a celebrity and fans relationship. Oh, that's the worst. That's the worst relationship of all time. A celebrity and fans relationship, whenever it comes to situations like this, is the worst, because at that point, bro, like it's not equal in a way. I mean, like they aren't equal, but like there's no like strength being built upon, especially like if it's like a like obviously I'm not saying let's say for example like I meet I meet like Tom Cruise whatever. Obviously like we're not gonna have anything after our interaction whatever, so I'ma still like fan out a little bit, but at the same time after we dap up or whatever, it's over. Whenever it comes to something like this where you're heading into battle and you're treating your Primarch like he's like LeBron James or like Tom Cruise or whatever, and you're just idolizing him or just like adoring him or just like you're just like licking every tear he cries, I'm gonna be honest with you, that's a little unhealthy. That's a little because at that point he could just use you and just throw you to the wolves or whatever. Like there's no like you're just like that like you're basically stroking his ego for free basically.
That allowed them to overlook their legion's fall into depravity, as that fall appeared to be the will of Fulgrim. Post-heresy, this goes to a whole nother level. They see him as a god, and he welcomes their worship.
Wow,
when he
yeah.
speaks, they all stare and listen intently. They hang on every word. They were so devoted to him that when they believed he was possessed by a demon, they literally ambushed him and begun trying to torture the alleged demon out of him, because the thought of their lord's body being used as a demon puppet was abhorrent to them.
Wait,
in recent
what?
times, Fulgrim has been sucking his own tits on his pleasure planet for thousands of years away from his legion, only recently stirring from his autofellatio. So it's no surprise that the Emperor's children now have hectic daddy issues and have splintered into dozens of warbands. Perturabo inspires his men, but I wouldn't call their relationship healthy. He is extremely harsh on them, beating some of them to death or disability in fits of anger. He has cultivated a culture of mistrust and unhealthy rivalry, with Iron Warriors and Warsmiths
He's like the abuser then.
each other to get his approval. A chief example of this was when one Warsmith felt robbed that he wasn't promoted to Perturabo's inner circle. Instead, Perty chose a rank-and-file warrior that impressed him to instead take the spot in his trident. So during a battle, that slighted Warsmith ordered his artillery to fire upon an Iron Warrior strongpoint in the hopes of killing a member of the Trident and opening up a spot for him.
Okay.
That bombardment killed thousands of Iron Warriors that didn't really need to die. Perturabo's Iron Will has kept the
Bro
Iron Warriors
did not
cohesive
care.
together, but they definitely do not love or adore their gene father.
That man
The
did
White
not
Scars
care.
greatly respect the Khan, but they do not blindly adore him or even really understand him. On the flip side, the Khan loves his sons and nourishes their creativity and artistic pursuits,
Oh, okay.
raising them above the savage impression that they give off. This sounds wholesome, and it is, but his son's lack of understanding about their father almost proved fatal for the entire Legion. When the heresy broke out, many White Scars liked the idea of being independent from the Imperium and leaning more into their savage nomadic vibe. When Jagadai was exploring the remains of
And this is why so many factions fall and fall from grace and they lose, because they can't work together as a team. The egos are just like Mayweather in each other. Obviously with the Salamanders, like we don't have egos. As a matter of fact, we work together as a team and we get stuff done. Just being honest with you.
Those White Scars that wanted to break from the Emperor led a mutiny, thinking that if they took control of the fleet, Jagadai would have no choice but to join Horus. This was nearly half the White Scars doing this. When Jagadai
Half
got
of
back on
them?
board, he shut that shit down quickly.
Yeah.
With many of the mutineers killing themselves out of shame. Jagadai was not one to express his inner thoughts
What?
or feelings, a tactic he used to avoid his enemies learning of potential weaknesses, and sometimes this extended to his own legion as well. Leman Russ had an easygoing and close relationship with his Space Wolves.
Okay.
They clearly loved and respected him, but they were not in constant awe around him or felt as if they had to suck him off or chase his approval. He was
Okay.
their liege, but also their companion and even friend. They drank together, fought together, and if their dicks worked, they would fuck together. The Wolves often got frustrated.
Nah, he's
with
joking,
this,
right?
Such as when he got all depresso expresso about the heresy and isolated himself away from them, or when he threw the spear the Emperor gave him away and his legion spent days tracking it down and bringing it back. They didn't justify all of his shitty actions and spin it into something good like some of the other legions would do. They were like, oh yeah, this fucking asshole having his fucking little temper tantrums. It was very brotherly and camaraderie,
Okay.
rather than father and son. In my opinion, a mutually respected relationship of warrior and commander is healthier and stronger than a full-on simp fest between a Space Marine with daddy
I told y'all.
issues and a Primarch with daddy issues. Rogal Dorn's relationship with his Space Marines is more interesting than it seems. They follow the father-son style, with him calling his warriors sons and them calling him father. They are extremely devoted to him and his command. Knowing that they serve their Lord Dorn gives them extremely high levels of willpower and fortitude, as shown when the Imperial Fists were the only Marines.
You know, like I said before, like, you know, like the older brother, like the older brother banter thing, like that works, in my opinion, that works way healthier than like the obvious, like, you know, simple, like, you know, like the glaze fest. But I mean, to be honest with you, I really don't see nothing wrong with like the father and son thing. I don't really see nothing wrong with that. It's just like the glaze, the simp like thing that can go overboard. But the father and son thing, I'll put that like second to like the brotherly like love like, you know, thing. So
maintain their sanity,
but that's my opinion though.
Marines from each legion into abominations. However, this can go both ways. When Alexis Pollux was beating Perturabo during the Battle of Foul, he threw away everything and suffered immense casualties instead of winning what could have been one of the most important battles of the heresy, all because he received a last-minute distorted order from Dorn to return to Terra. In another case, when Sigismund told Dorn that he allowed his actions to be influenced by a divine prophet in direct violation of the Imperial truth, Dorn raged at him, with Sigismund being knocked back by the force of Dorn's rage and disappointment. This is Sigismund, a veteran of 100 wars with thousands of kills under his belt, reduced to a child under Dorn's disgust and disappointment. It was very clear that Dorn was their lord, the Imperial Fists his soldiers.
A veteran?
No room for debate or much in the way of banter. It was an intense, effective, yet very formal relationship. The Night Lords are the 8th Legion, and yeah, that was a shitty relationship. Conrad Curse hated and despised most of his legion as they were recruited from gangs and crime families, the very things he tried to destroy. They had all his sadism and cruelty.
He had a bunch of crash out. He had a bunch of villains and Batman Arkham Asylum patients as his crew. I hate him too. You know what, bro? I don't blame you, bro. I don't blame you, bro.
Justice. He only really liked a small handful of true Night Lords, like Talos or Sevatar. His legion cared for their Primarch, but they didn't really respect him. They saw his sanity drain away, with Sevatar openly calling him out for being a fuckwit for his really shit tactical prowess and his constant need to lead them to defeat against the Dark Angels. By the time Conrad met his end, many of the Night Lords had abandoned their Primarch and the Legion to form their own warbands. Many others felt their loyalty to Sevatar over Conrad. When Conrad finally died, those that stayed with him were devastated. However, when they reflect on their Primarch, they think of him as a broken, insane creature, not as a beloved mentor or father. Sanguinius is a glorious hawk boy and his sons know it. Only a few Primarchs could inspire absolute loyalty and devotion within their legion. Sanguinius was chief amongst them. His humility, willingness to take advice, easygoing demeanor with his sons, and leadership abilities made him beloved by his legion. Not just as a godlike figure, but also as a grounded father that they could speak with. Sanguinius in turn loved his sons more than anything else. He literally nearly traded his soul and loyalty to Chaos because he thought it might save them from their gene flaws. Although this relationship sounds similar to the one that Fulgrim originally had with his legion, it's a lot less toxic. Sanguinius doesn't see himself as this godlike being worthy of their devotion. He connects with them on a personal level and treats them as equals. Nasir Amit, the original flesh bearer, felt comfortable enough to tell Sanguinius to his face that Horus was a traitorous piece of shit. Sanguinius did end up bitch slapping him, but the point remains. Overall, a very strong bond, but not in a weird incesty way. Ferrus Manus shared a similar relationship to his Iron Hands to that of Perturabo and his Iron Warriors. Ferrus was stern and easy to piss off. He was hard on his men and pushed them. However, he wasn't a bitter asshole like Perty was. He was able to share genuine camaraderie and brotherhood with his sons, especially his...
See, I told y'all, bro. Like, the brotherhood thing, bro, I think it works well because, like, you get to push them in a way, but at the same time, like it's love, like it's tough love. That's what I think. I think for these warriors and like Space Marines and stuff like that, I think they need tough love. I think they like I don't think they need to like simp or anything like that. But at the same time, I don't think that their primary needs to like, you know, kill like random whatever. I think like it needs to be like kind of like in the middle. They need like the tough love thing, like the tough love treatment a little bit.
First Captain Gabriel Santa.
That's what I think.
His healthier approach to command meant that his Iron Warriors weren't fucking murdering each other to climb the ladder. His legion was devastated upon his death. However, they use it to harden their resolve and become even more unbreakable and dedicated as ever, whereas the hypothetical death of Perturabo would have likely caused a breakup within the Iron Warriors Legion, as each warsmith took their own forces away on their own agendas. The 11th Legion's Primarch molested his son, so his records have been expunged. The World Eaters had a pretty...
Wait, what? Whoa. Wait. The 11th Primarch is dead, right? The second Primarch in the 11th one is dead, right? Wait, let's go back real quick. Wait, what did Majorkill say?
Forced a breakup within the Iron Warriors Legion.
Wait, hold up.
Each warsmith took their own forces away on their own agendas. The 11th Legion's Primarch molested his son, so his records have been expunged.
Is that true? Or because we know Majorkill, like, he likes to play around a lot. Is that true though? For real? No. Seriously, is that true? Because that could be like a huge factor of like why he's just gone. Is that true? See, bro, we need to listen. I'm gonna be honest with you. December is gonna be a crazy month, you know, content-wise and stuff like that. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. We need to go and like study what happens to the 11 universe, bro. But listen, I'm gonna find an answer. I don't care what you guys say. Oh, there isn't an answer. No. I'm gonna find an answer, bro.
The World Eaters had a pretty sad relationship with Angron. Angron despised everyone,
Angron,
including his own legion. He never got.
Angron gets an excuse because we know his story. He gets an excuse. I'm not gonna lie to you. He gets an excuse. I'm gonna get some tissue real quick. He gets an excuse though.
Over the deaths of his original gladiator army and never really accepted the World Eaters as a worthy replacement, even going as far to decimate his legion or even start butchering them himself. No single person has killed more World Eaters than Angron. In return, his sons want to love him, but they just can't. They don't feel that Primarch aura or connection or impressiveness.
Yeah, listen, we know Angron's story, so he gets an excuse.
Angron is petty and petulant, just an all-round asshole to everyone.
Again, I'm lucky because if I didn't know anything about Angron's story, man, I would have crashed out on Angron right now. Y'all know me, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I know his story. I know why he's angry all the time. I know why. So you know.
The World Eaters allowed themselves to be mutilated by the Butcher's nails as they believed it would bring them closer to their Primarch. It didn't. At this point, they don't even follow him out of loyalty anymore. They are just so blood-crazed that the only thing they know is that wherever Angron goes, the fighting will be legendary. On the flip side, we have Guilliman and his Ultramarines. You would think that the Ultramarines would want to wank their dad 24/7, but that just isn't the case. They don't see him as their messiah or god king, more so as a heavily respected and wise leader.
Yeah, as a leader,
Guilliman is impressive, but he isn't this walking avatar of divine power like Sanguinius or Lorga or Magnus. His sons don't struggle to speak to him or look at him. This is by Guilliman's design. He doesn't want to be praised as a deity. He wants to be able to speak freely with his warriors and take their insights. He wants them to challenge his thinking and be his
See, now if I'm being honest with you, that sounds like the perfect ideology for a leader. Like you are now the leader. You now make decisions for your team, family, whatever. But at the same time, though, you still want to get insight from all angles of the board. You get what I'm saying? So that's a leader right there. I'm gonna be honest with you. He has so far, because obviously we haven't got to Vulcan yet, but so far he has the best mindset for he sounds like the best leader so far.
Advocate. He even jokes with them here and there, often unnerving them as they didn't realize he had a capacity for having a laugh. When his legion thought he had died during the war for Calth, they didn't wail or cry. They took the news with grim expressions but pushed on and fulfilled their duty. Guilliman is easily one of the most human of all the Primarchs. Yeah. His respectful relationship with his sons reflects that. The Death Guard's relationship with Mortarion was bizarre. When he took control of the Legion, he broke down their Dusk Raider origins and rebuilt them in his own image. He also wasn't a particularly pleasant person to be around, and his sons were unnerved and uneasy whenever he gave them his attention. In saying that though, they were mostly loyal to him and looked up to him as their father, and he did care for them, as evident by him selling his soul to Nurgle to save himself and his sons from an agonizing death. However, his relationship with them remained cold, with Typhus, his second in command.
I mean, it remained cold, but I think that he still loved them though. That's the thing. Like, if you're willing to give your soul away, bro, for you and your people, I'm gonna be honest with you. That sounds like that you love your faction group, etc. So I'm gonna be honest with you. It may seem cold, but I think that he still loved him though.
Ditching him as soon as he could and basically taking half the Legion with him. In saying that, the Death Guard remain one of the most cohesive traitor legions still around thanks to Morty's leadership, so he has to be doing something right. Magnus and his 1,000 sons shared a close father-son bond. Magnus loved them above all else, going to great lengths to try stop the flesh change. He even rejected the Emperor's offer of a new legion to replace the defunct 1,000 sons. His sons in turn respected and loved him. However, there were some issues with the relationship. Magnus was incredibly arrogant and thought he always knew better than his sons. Thus he ignored the warnings given to him by Ahriman and other legionnaires. These mistakes by Magnus completely fucked the Legion in the ass, so when Magnus wanted to suicide himself and his Legion to atone, his Space Marines told him to get fucked and disobeyed his orders, instead choosing to fight the Space Wolves. The Thousand Sons would soon break off into warbands, with Ahriman himself going against Magnus in his attempts to cure the Legion's...
Yeah, he's not a good leader. He's not a good leader because he didn't listen to you know his Marines, bro. He didn't listen to his sons basically, and that's a quality to have if you're a leader. You got to be able to listen to your group. You know, like whoever you're leading, you have to be able to listen to them because at the end of the day, they can say something that can benefit the entire plan, or that could make you look at it from this angle and be like, oh snap, I was wrong about this. And I mean, well, so I mean, even though like he stayed loyal with his Legion or whatever, he stayed loyal with like his faction or whatever, he rejected the Emperor's offer. That's cool, that's good, but at the same time though, like you got to be able to have the quality of listening to your Marines, or listening to your people, because if you don't and you keep on making these decisions, and here's the thing though, I understand from his angle, he probably was like, you know what, like I'm gonna stick with this, I'm gonna just keep doing this, whatever, block everybody out. But at the same time though, just like Guilliman, he listens to his Marines, he jokes with them, whatever. He has like an actual relationship with them, rather than like with him right here with oh my god, what's this guy's name? He literally just said it. What's this guy's name? With this guy right here, basically he's just making all these decisions without even like discussing it, with his group or whatever. So at the end of the day, you got to be able to have qualities of you listening, and really like involving your group, because at that point, if you're just making decisions for your group and they're just following whatever, and you guys are falling apart and they don't want to be a part of it, it's either you sit down and solve something, or it's GG's. I can't lie to you.
Let's change instead of working with Magnus on it. Whilst there was a lot of mutual love, the mutual respect crumbled due to Magnus's mistakes, which caused the Primarch and Legion to split apart and go behind each other's backs. Horus was incredibly charismatic and his Legion loved him. In return, he loved his sons. However, it became more obvious that his affection towards them was just manipulation the more he fell to chaos. When he fell on Davin from the Chaos Knife, his sons were so distraught and panicked that when they arrived back on their ship, carrying their dying Primarch, they plowed through a crowd of civilians, killing and maiming many. This wasn't just Abaddon being a dick. Garviel Loken was amongst the Legionnaires pushing, punching, and crushing their way through the crowd in desperation to get Horus to the apothecary. As Horus fell more and more, his Legion's love of him also dissipated. He was a meat suit for chaos, and even Abaddon, his first captain, begun to despise what he had become. Abaddon literally killed the clone of Horus that Fabius made. The Black Legion does not remember Horus fondly. He was the Primarch that led...
that chaos was making him tweak. That chaos was making him tweak, brother.
Damnation and ruin. Abaddon literally disbanded the Sons of Horus and formed the Black Legion in order to destroy Horus's legacy. The relationship of Primarch and Space Marine that was once considered to be the greatest out of all the legions ended up falling to become even more broken than Angron's relationship with his sons. On the flip side of that, Lorgar and his sons were very close. He inspired obscene amounts of loyalty in his men. He was their prophet and demigod. They did anything and everything for him. In turn, he loved them greatly, taking on Corvus Corax in a doomed one-sided duel to try stop the Raven Lord from butchering them. However, as chaos took hold and he saw many of his sons go down the wrong path, he began to get cold towards them. He sent Erebus and Corferon to Calth in the hopes that they would die, and when Erebus killed Argul Tal, Lorgar's favourite son, he told Khan about it in the hopes that Khan would go kill Erebus. Since the end of the heresy, Lorgar has been isolated from his legion for 10,000 years. Clearly, he doesn't give much of a shit about them anymore, or at least not as much as the old genuine
bro said forget that legion.
Everything literally went to hell. The Wordbearers are still devoted towards Lorgar. However, with Corferon controlling one half and Erebus controlling the other, their loyalties and feelings are a bit of a mess. The most wholesome relationship on this list is between Vulcan and his friendly salamanders. However, it wasn't clingy and weird. Vulcan knelt before his legion when they met, telling them that he was their father, not their king, and to only kneel to him when he earned their respect, not to
Bro said, only kneel to me when I earn your respect. He didn't force them to kneel. He said, only kneel to me whenever I earn your respect. Whenever I earn their respect, then you can kneel to me. Wow, bro. He's such a king.
Fealty. He cared for his sons like none other and was completely devastated and enraged when the Isfahan dropsite massacre occurred. The near extinction of his legion really fucked him up mentally. On the flip side, when his legion thought he was dead, they were also mentally unwell.
Yeah.
They did not cope with it well like the Iron Hands did. Despite that, the relationship was still healthy, respectful, and wholesome, but he was their daddy, not their lord or captain. Corvus Corax had a pretty interesting relationship with his Raven Guard.
In my opinion, I think that the Salamanders had the best relationship, you know. The Ultramarines, you guys are good. Like, Guilliman, great. You know, you guys are number 2. But obviously, Salamanders had the best relationship.
They respected him and gladly gave their lives in service to him, but they did not revere him or see him as this infallible demigod. Whenever you read about Corvus interacting with his warriors, it's quite casual and relaxed. They aren't in constant awe of him or get tingly when he looks at them. Maybe it's a result of him growing up under their care and leading his people into freedom in a guerrilla war that resulted in their current relationship. Or it might just be the cold, withdrawn vibe Corvus gives rather than the blazing sun that is Sanguinius or Magnus. His bond with his sons isn't weaker than those Primarchs, it's just more low-key. However, the Raven Guard are just as dedicated and loyal to Corvus as any other legion to their own Primarch. This relationship is similar to that of Alpharius Omegon with their Alpha Legion. As Alpharius is small of stature, often hides his Primarch aura, and is often impersonated by his own legionnaires, he isn't seen as this legendary figure to follow headfirst into battle. He is more like the first amongst equals. That doesn't diminish the Alpha Legion's loyalty to him though. When he declared for Horus, most of the Alpha Legion were like, okay, sure. He never gave his sons a reason and they just trusted his judgment. When the Alpha Legion Primarchs speak with their Astartes, it's quite casual, with the Primarchs never dominating their warriors with their presence or words. More so, it's like mutually respectful colleagues. Anything to help with their more low-key Legion tactics is what they're after. Most of the time, Alpharius and Omegon wear plain Space Marine battleplate, only occasionally bringing out the hectic scale mail Greco armor with that badass Xeno spear. Despite this casual relationship, any Alpha Legionnaire would willingly die for their Primarch and carry out their orders without question. It's no coincidence that the Primarchs that thought themselves above and better than their Space Marines often ended up being the ones to go traitor. The ego can be an easy thing to corrupt.
Told y'all.
If you enjoyed the video and you want to support the
man, that is a man's weakness, bro. Listen, let that be known. If you're a young man out there, bro, listen, control your ego. I understand ego is man, that is a man's weakness out here, man. Be careful. Other than that, man, make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. And obviously, like I said before, Salamanders, you know, literally had the best relationship. And then I'll put, like, you know, Guilliman and the Ultramarines second. But make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. And I will see you guys next time out.